Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a sweltering Las Vegas, Nevada. You are watching the Roundtable. I am Aaron Phillips, sitting to my right. The man who's got the fastest feet in Denver. Why he's here in Vegas, that's how fast he got here. Mr. Rick Upchurch.
Well, let me tell you something. It's so hot out there, man. It's like a cat on a tin roof.
There you go. Sitting to his right, he is simply known as the Mouth, but we call him George. George Miklos, a longtime broadcast veteran and aspiring actor, director. How are you?
Very good.
Guys have a good week?
Yes.
Wait. Oh, and here to my left, we have a wonderful, wonderful, outstanding guy, man. Everyone knows him here in Las Vegas and around the world. The Voice.
Happy birthday,
Aaron
Voice.
Phillips.
Yeah. Oh,
Happy
thank
birthday.
you. Yes. Yesterday, number 59 crept up on me.
Yes, it did.
So when
Did it creep up or did it creep up?
Either way, it got there fast.
Correct. Creep.
So yesterday morning, I went to a workout to start off my birthday, and we were doing pistols. Were on the pistol squats. No, I didn't pull nothing.
Good.
So I do pistol squats where you kind of go down on a box with one leg out and back up, and you try to stand back up. So I did a couple of rounds, about 3 or 4, and then by the time I got to like the 4th round where my legs just said, "You're done." So I couldn't stand back up on one leg.
Enjoy your day.
So the coach comes back around. He says, he says, when you were 58, you used to be able to do that much better.
That's funny.
I turned around and I said, up yours.
That's it.
You know what? As we grow older, form is not a part of the deal.
It definitely is not.
You
I'm
lose
just happy
form
to
big
survive
time,
it.
don't you?
Well, I'm just happy to survive that shit nowadays. I walk around
Getting
there.
out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. I walk around most workouts and I say, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, but you know what?
But I keep going back.
But you know what? Your body loves it though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You have to
it
get
does.
that oil to the joints, man, and stretch and get those muscle, man, going again and that old deal. The only reason we grow old is because we sit around on our butts, man,
That's
having
right.
lemonade or Coca-Cola
That's right.
or whatever else
This
you're
is
doing.
that glass of wine that most people have every day to live to 104.
Right.
I'll live to 104.
George Burns lived to
still.
100 and smoked 10 stogies a day. So you
That's
just never
right.
know.
There you go.
And then Pete Maravich, great athlete,
Yeah.
died at 40.
Well, Jim
I
Fix
was
did too.
just gonna
Jim Fix
say.
was a great runner, right?
Yeah,
I was
Run
just
all
gonna
day
bring it
long,
up.
and next thing you know,
Yeah, you just don't know.
I don't
Next thing
think
you
those
know-
grape nuts and stuff don't work.
But I think right.
That's when the rumor started, exercising can kill you.
Yes.
I
For
still
sure.
think I'm still a believer of trying to stay in shape.
Absolutely.
Do some little things
Absolutely.
as much as you can. And
Yeah.
Change little habits.
Yeah.
And I give this little suggestion to everybody I talk to who know my story. What I say is just take one habit for the first week. Well, first of all, do you guys know the answer to the age-old riddle, how do you eat an elephant? How does a mouse eat an elephant?
one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Oh,
So
boy.
what I
did
tell
it.
people
That was it.
is just pick one thing in your daily habit you want to change.
Right.
Park further to get a few more steps, get rid of the Tootsie Rolls, eat whatever it is. And then you go into week number 2 and you find something else, but you do number 2 on top of week number 1. And by the end of the month, you're going to have 4 new habits already built into your mind, and
Right.
you're reprogramming your mind.
Sure.
And I shared that with a lady up at my wife's school a couple of years back. She had this Tootsie Roll fetish at 3 in the afternoon. She just needed that.
Right.
And I told her, I said, just get something to substitute. I don't care if it's baby carrots, whatever it is. Just find something that's more healthy. Week 1, then week 2, you do that. And I saw her about 30 days later when I went back to sub, and she said to me, she came in, thanked me, she lost 25 pounds just
from
by
that.
Yes.
just by doing the
Yeah.
building. So everything can work. Now,
Absolutely.
you can also exercise a little bit. Just walking is
Yeah.
fine. Thank you for everybody for watching. If you're watching us right now on Facebook, thank you so very much. Of course, you can watch us on YouTube as well. If you are driving around town, like for us, is getting ready to go into the last day rush hour traffic at the end of the day. If you're back east, you're probably getting ready to sit down and have dinner. But you can download the WWDBTV app to your phones for Androids, WWDBTV LV for your iPhones. However, if you have Roku service, download the WWDBTV channel to Roku, and you'll be able to watch this show and our many shows that we've had here since the beginning of the year, as well as what's a good a movie menus option worth of shows. that you can pick from and see what's going on here at the station.
gonna-
Call us, 702-992-3207.
I was going to mention, right? If you're sitting down at dinner back east,
Yeah.
normally you're not allowed to have cell phones at the table, but I give you permission to do that
From 7 to 8 p.m.
from 7
only.
to 8 p.m. So if
Eastern.
Daddy says put the cell phone away, you tell him, hey, I'm watching the
The
round
mouth
table.
said.
The mouth said
That's
so.
right.
No doubt about it. Well, hey, you know what, though?
Yes,
Honestly
sir.
and truthfully, yesterday, I had a great time. I had a great time with Aaron at,
Oh,
you know, his birthday in that hotel. They brought a big old
Thought
thing
about you
of
last night.
ice cream with chocolate all over it and whipped
Oh.
cream in that hotel. It just looked nice and sloppy. He was just enjoying it. No wonder he got out and worked out. I
worked out
get
this
it.
morning.
Did you have
I
any?
get it, folks.
Did you eat some of the
I
chocolate
did.
sloppy
I'm trying to keep it slim,
All
bro.
right,
I'm trying
you
to keep
gotta
it right.
eat a little bit,
Well,
man.
I'm 71 now. You know, hey, man, it don't come off as easy anymore.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
You could still run
Yeah, but I had a
5
great time. I had a great time. His dad met his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's right.
what an awesome dude, man! We had so much fun at the table. We told more lies than anybody could tell.
I had to walk away from the table a few times.
Did you? Did you
Well,
because
yeah,
of that?
I didn't want to know how my dad kisses his girlfriend. He asked that
Oh, so he knows.
question. I'm like, I need a table for one, please.
That's fun. That's hilarious.
But it was. Listen, it was a
That's
very quiet birthday. You know, 59 it's not like a milestone like 60 and 40 and all
Yeah,
those. So
well-
next year, who knows what my wife's going to have planned, but it was great to just enjoy time. Wish you guys could have been there. And next time, maybe we'll just make a bigger blowout for next year.
Well,
But I
60,
appreciate
big
you guys.
dog, you're getting ready to jump the broom, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, get ready.
Did you get that? Jump the broom, bro.
Yeah, I heard
Jump
you.
the
It's
broom.
like,
That's-
it's like burpees. I hate those too. I hate jumping anything. Anyway,
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. And by the way, thank you to everybody out there who's been posting. They're still posting on my wall today for my birthday.
Oh, yeah. 300
direct to my wall, almost plus plethora of comments to all the different
Isn't it
posts like
cool?
my wife made. And I haven't even checked my Alter Egos page
Right.
yet and LinkedIn as well. So thank you. It's very humbling to get all
And
of
you
that.
get those wishes from around the world.
Oh.
Feels good.
John
Oh,
has
geez.
something to say.
John.
Come on, Johnny, tell us.
Yeah, you guys, one of the other shows actually brought in a cake for Aaron for his birthday.
That's true. They did.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts count anywhere.
You didn't leave us?
Oh.
Is any in the refrigerator back here or what? When we were?
I saw
Yeah,
like-
we ate it,
I
man.
saw some beer in there.
Thanks. We love you too, man.
You know, I will
We
say
had a
that.
candle and everything.
That's what they did.
One?
That's
And they
Hey,
had the
Candle?
celebration
it was a
live.
small cake. If you'll excuse
Oh, okay. Or was it a cupcake? Tell me
me.
which
No,
one.
no,
Okay.
it wasn't a cupcake.
It wasn't
It was
a
a
cupcake.
full
Full-grown fudge
Full-grown.
cake.
An adult cake.
Hello.
Let me tell you.
Merry
They-
Christmas.
What
Check
it
this
tastes
out.
like.
So Chief, he turns to me and he says, "Do you have anything signed by?" Because he knows I'm a Giants fan, a Yankee fan. He said, "Do you have anything signed by Lawrence Taylor?" And I told him the story about one day. This is like my kids were just born. So this is like 28, 29 years ago.
Jesus.
And it was a Monday night. She was out bowling with my mom at a local bowling center. And I'm at home, and all of a sudden my phone rings as I'm watching wrestling on both WWE and WCW. This was the Monday Night Wars of.
Right.
Anyway, she goes, "You'll never guess it's bowling a couple lanes over." I said, "Who?" "I'm over here. How could I guess?" She goes, "Lawrence Taylor." I said, "You can no, he's right over there." She's pointing to him while I'm on the phone
Yeah.
with her. This was before
On the
FaceTime,
phone.
right?
That's
Yeah, exactly.
hilarious.
And I said, "Well, do you have anything for him to sign an autograph?" She goes, "No, I don't." I said, "Well, babe, take your bowling shoes over there with a marker, and I will run out tomorrow and buy you bowling shoes for that." It was a $60 signature
Signed
because
it?
that's what it cost me for a pair of bowling shoes. Oh, I
Signed
haven't.
it?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I haven't
that's
buried
cool.
somewhere. So, anyways, they were kind enough with our friend from Scott Hosey. What they do is they got a 1989 Lawrence Taylor card, gold card,
Right.
in the acrylic square,
Mhm.
and it's autographed, which was really
That's cool.
really very cool. And I have a piece of jewelry
LT.
here, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
I like it.
Courtesy of the Up Churches,
That's
which was a
genuine
nice
Very
gemstone.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
genuine gemstone.
genuine. Can I scratch it against my teeth?
You can. You can do that.
Lose my tooth.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Lots been going on in the world as we all celebrated July 4th. The Sphere lit up last night for the first time,
Did
which
you
was
see that?
tremendous.
Weird. The eyeball freaked me out.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were watching you.
that's
Yeah.
right. One
Yes.
guy,
Did
they
you see
actually
the photos?
Yeah, I did.
The
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It is.
they
It's
talked
cool.
about it on ESPN this morning, and Bart Hahn, just as they were signing off, he goes, "If one light bulb goes out, do they all go out?" Referring to Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny. I thought it was
Yeah.
a great line. It was just literally as they were fading out.
Yeah.
But yet another attraction that's supposedly specifically designed towards concerts. It's not really a
Right.
multi-use facility.
Right.
But good luck when U2 is supposed to be but August, right? Officially
No,
opens?
September, I thought. It was.
September? Okay. U2 is supposed to be the opening act. But anyway, so that looked great. Hopefully, whatever you did for July 4th, you're back listening to us with 10 fingers, 10 toes, good hearing, and none of that
Right.
other stuff. But we appreciate that. So we have a lot of time. We're going to also introduce a new segment, sort of informally tonight. We're going to call this Where Should You Never Do Blank? And John is going to work up for us after this week, probably when we're all back in studio. We'll do it
Right.
the first week. But John's going to work this up. He's going to do a quick little intro for us. And he will have the choice to say, where would you never do blank? And so each of us will get a chance to fill in the blank one time.
One time for one subject.
We can explain why or what. But I think this is on the heels of one of the stories we'll talk about here momentarily, which I'm
Yes.
sure will lead to
Yes.
quite a plethora of comments from everybody. We're going to be monitoring the chat room. If you're on YouTube, please put your comments in there. They will come through to the studio for us to see. All right, let's start off with a very simple, light, fun story. If I say to you guys the number 74, what's the first thing that might come into mind?
For me, it would be the year of the goat.
The year of the goat. Are you talking about the Chinese calendar year
Yeah.
of the goat? Really?
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
Carl,
could you
wasn't Carl Mecklenburg's number 74 or was it 77?
No.
Carl
77.
Mecklen was 77.
Okay.
Yes, uh-huh.
Why could you said 75?
Because the numbers.
74. I have no idea. 74. It was my first year playing football. I was like 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
really? Well, the number 74 should mean this to you. Joey Chestnuts over the weekend had 74 hot dogs
Really? I thought it was
to win for the umpteenth time. He's won like 15 times in a row of the Coney
That's-
Island hot dog, Nathan's hot dog contest. 74,
Are you
The guy
sure?
weighs
That's a
like,
little
what,
higher than what I
98
read.
pounds?
maybe 72.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. He's a tall guy, but
Yeah, I know, but he's skinny, right?
how he must throw
Well,
up.
you know what his
as soon as
routine
he
Yeah,
is?
goes.
You
man,
know
I'm
what his
telling
routine is, right?
What's that?
He said 2 or 3 days before, I don't eat, but I'll some olive oil. It gets his gut all slick
all
and
loose.
ready. I don't know what.
So it goes right through him.
Yeah, doesn't eat for 2 days, and he says usually when his routine after he gets done is to go home, sit down, or take a nap. I said, how the fuck do you take a nap after eating 70 hot dogs? I was puking after 5, maybe 5.
You know what the hardest part for me is, though, is that's I think the most
Really, I
disgusting
look
part.
like I could eat it, but no, 74.
Dunking that hot dog with the bun on it
in
in
the water.
No.
Nasty.
No, thank you, man.
No, man.
For me, I think it's going to be harmful.
It is.
I really do,
It
because
is.
when you eat that much, man, and put that much pressure on your intestines and on your stomach and that whole deal, and try to digest all that meat and all those carbs and that bread, it can't be good for you. Because somewhere down the road, as you grow older, your body has to start breaking down. Or what it's going to do is gather a bunch of cholesterol, and your veins are going to be just blocked
Is
out.
that why they call it a sport? I mean, when they call it a sport, I kind of cringe a little when it's on ESPN, for Christ's sake.
A sport?
Yeah, they call it a
Man,
sport.
well, how is that a sport,
Stop.
bro?
Well, I guess if ESPN's covering it, like,
Yeah, they
like
were saying it's-
cornhole, it's got to be a sport.
Yeah,
Well, it's just like a
sport.
cucumber. They say, hey, is that a fruit or is that a doggone vegetable? You right?
It's a pickle.
Yeah.
Well, it's a veggie. Well, it's like
By the way,
tomatoes.
No, it's not.
Tomato's a vegetable.
Yeah.
Cucumber's not a
Cuc-
veggie?
No, it has seeds on the inside.
So what does that make it?
That makes it a fruit.
It's a
No
fruit.
shit.
Yeah.
Cucumber's a fruit?
Yeah.
By the way, I have to stand corrected. Go ahead.
Oh, the
Come on, Johnny.
The light bulb went off.
Boy, lit him up.
Okay, all right. Intelligence is knowing that tomatoes are a fruit.
Well, that I knew. But the cucumber.
Wisdom is knowing that you don't put tomatoes in a fruit salad.
So I do have to correct something.
Wisdom.
You are
Okay.
correct. He actually ate 62 hot
Yeah, that's
dogs.
what I thought. I was going, wait a
But
second.
in 2021, his world record was 76. So I picked up 74 from another story. So I
Right.
apologize for sharing
that's,
the wrong
I
number.
had also heard that same 74.
Okay, so all right, and I saw it on the byline of actually.
Nice for covering them up.
I actually saw it on the byline of the ESPN number 74. That's where I picked it up
Oh,
from.
yeah.
But it ended up being 62. Either way, that's a
Well, that's
dark.
what Fox reported anyway.
That's right. It was reported by
Oh,
Ralph
geez.
Nader.
Here we right.
But either way, that's a lot of hot dogs.
Man,
ESPN.
your body has just got, well, he's used to it. This
He
is
does
what
it every year.
he does it every year. So his body probably, just like in football or any other sport,
knows.
when
Gets
that time
acclimated,
comes
yeah.
around,
Yeah,
It's
get
July
acclimated.
4th.
yeah, let's get ready. Yeah.
Speaking of ESPN real quick, Jesus, do they
They're letting people go left
Did
and
they
right.
chop
Big
and block?
Hey.
Oh my God, they mowed down everybody.
Hey, big dog.
You know anybody?
I
Susie,
think you need a spot
know
there, don't
anybody?
you? Yeah.
Call me. I'll
Susie
work for half their
Colbert,
price.
I can't believe
Yeah.
29 years.
Yeah.
She's
Neil Everett.
She's your age, 59.
Well,
Which one was that?
Susie Colbert.
Oh, Susie.
Well,
right.
once again, she's
Susie
a liability. Remember,
Colbert.
Colbert.
Colbert?
Right.
Remember, she's a liability because as you get more experience and the better that you get, right?
You're gonna want more.
That you're gonna want more. And so they're like, you've reached your apex, you're out of here.
And again, 27, 28 years is not a bad run, but for what they're doing, who else got?
Well,
Jalen Rose.
yeah,
Jalen
like,
Rose, the boxer,
yeah.
Neil Everett, who's been on the set forever out of L.A.
Van Gundy.
Van Gundy.
Yes.
He's gone.
Jeff
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
The only other one that seems safe right now is Stephen A. Smith, but he's got his big salary.
Right.
And people are saying that Pat McAfee is the reason a lot of these layoffs are happening because
$85
of what he
million
got paid.
for 10 years.
I'm sorry, but I find it hard to believe that with everybody, even if they were
Not
still
bad for-
there,
not bad for
between
kicker.
Disney and ESPN, that they would not be making enough money to still have kept everybody plus the salary.
Right.
I mean, you've got ESPN, ABC, Disney, maybe Disney's not ABC and ESPN. I don't know how they still would end up in the red, but it is a cautionary tale to see all these people.
I
the
watched
story,
ESPN for a handful of shows, but then they started getting real political. I miss Chris Berman and Chris Jackson in football.
Yeah.
Tom Jackson.
Yeah, Tom Jackson.
I miss all that.
Fastest 2 minutes of football.
It was
at
great.
halftime.
Tom was a great he was there forever.
Yeah.
I loved that show. That was my favorite show.
Mhm.
But again, you get your run in, right? They need new blood. They need new faces. They're pulling in different demographics, younger kids, and that deal. So I think that's basically what they're going after is maybe the younger crowd,
Right.
this new millennial type of viewers
And none of
for
these
their shows.
None of these guys that were axed should be feeling bad. They had great career and they can find something else. It sucks the way they did it, but I think they all should be proud of their careers.
I want to ask you a
And,
question. I want to ask you, do each of the guys, do they go out and get their own sponsors? Do they go out and get Serta? Do they go out and get Cadillac or
I think at that
Mercedes-Benz
point,
and get their
it's
own
ESPN
sponsors?
does.
ESPN
I
does?
think at that point,
I would tend to lean that way too.
when you get that far up, they have a market.
Now they might bring a Scott Van Pelt in if it's for his show or around his show to say, kind of like, hey, we want you to sponsor an ESPN. We'll put you on Scott Van Pelt's, time zone,
Yeah, they might
and then Scott may come in at some point and say thank you, or maybe just make a call or something. But
Yeah, they don't put the
That's
pressure
more as a
on
closer.
the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
I'd
have
be
their own
surprised.
marketing
Okay.
department.
but if anybody knows differently, you can give us a call 702-992-3207. All right.
Where's Roundtable's marketing department?
Right
We're
here.
sitting
We're
right here,
sitting
right,
right here.
I was just gonna say, we're sitting
That's
right
it.
here. All right, we're going to step aside for our first break. When we get back, we're going to introduce our new segment because it's going to be a nice segue into our next topic. You're watching The Round Table. We'll be right back.
How unique.
It's gorgeous.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
We're back.
All right, welcome back to The Round Table. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you taking the time to make us part of your Thursday afternoon. All right, we promised the beginning of a new segment as we will use that to segue into our next topic. So at this point, we're going to call it Where Should You Never Do Blank? And with that,
Where
I'm going to
should you
turn the
never do
microphone
blank?
over to John to
Yeah.
introduce tonight's topic, which will be a nice segue into our discussion. Take it away, Mr. John.
Where should you never eat pasta?
That's not what we talked about during the show, what we're going to lead into.
Where should you never eat pasta?
Where should we never do? Take it away.
Cocaine was the real topic. based
Oh,
on the story.
really?
Where's
Really?
based on the story.
Where to
But-
never do it?
But the fact that he said pasta will give you an idea of the type of silly stuff we will start doing in segments later on.
I get it.
However, so where should you never do cocaine? And obviously, for those who are following the news, you know why we bring this up. But first, We'll start off
Well, earlier
with the mouth.
I'll save the other one. Earlier I said never do cocaine on an airplane. I know. It's not gonna. It's leading into the other topic, but yeah, never do it on
As
an
a
airplane.
passenger or as a pilot?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it as a pilot, but never as a passenger for sure,
How about
because
the
then you
flight
start walking up and down. Hi, can I help you? Can I help you? And then all the
It'll be the-
passengers start going, Does he work for you guys? Can he give me a drink? He's asking everybody if they want a line. But no, never do cocaine on an airplane. That's me.
Okay. Mr. Speedy,
Oh.
Mr. Upchurch.
Never do cocaine in your church. I think, man, lightning will absolutely reach out and touch you.
I think it would. I think at that moment it would.
I think
Ain't enough Hail Marys at that point.
Hail Marys
Right.
at that point. He's like, really? This is what you're doing here, man, in my house?
That would
Dude,
be, yeah.
you're getting geeked up around here. I thought I was enough. But
Right.
you're going to use a substance?
Holy
No, I'm going to have to work on you. No,
That's
definitely you don't want to do it
All
at
right.
church.
That's
John?
On the 50-yard line.
Everybody's watching. Huh?
That's
All
it.
those lines.
All of them, like, yeah, I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Well, you know, that was the old joke with Steve Howe, who used to be a major league pitcher, got like 8 new chances, that you could always find Steve Howe on a day off going up the third baseline.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So that was such a
Right.
that-
That's funny.
You know, so that was honestly a joke that went around, and listen, we don't mean to make light of that. It is a habit and whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so my answer to that question is you should never do cocaine on your wedding day.
Yeah. You'll never show up.
Well,
Right?
Well, you might show up, but you'll have a different vision. Let's just say
Now that I'm a little
a very desperate family wants their not so cute looking daughter to get married off.
So you
All of a sudden, the cocaine's going to maybe make that bride look better than they really should be, and then after it wears off, you go, "What the hell was I thinking?"
yeah.
So I would definitely not do cocaine at your wedding day. And then after that, the wedding dress, assuming it's white, would really throw you off. After you
Totally.
come down.
Why are
I
you
don't
smelling
know
great
what
dress?
kind of cocaine you've ever done, but I mean, if you're talking about making a chick look better, that's beer. That ain't
Yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah, this is me. I hate going out to a club and it's dark in there, bad boy, and I get drunk, and a babe come up to me and start talking, and I'm like, well, let's go on home. And when I turn on the lights, man, the next morning I look over and I'm like, dang, you look like a dude. What happened to your wig and stuff?
That's God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, guys.
Check, please. Anyway, so that was so I put it in the chat room. If you'd like to fill in the dash on your own, where would you never do cocaine? Put your thoughts and answers in the chat room. You can put it on your YouTube comments, and we'll get them there
And
too.
where this might be leading is, I know we've heard stories of Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg, a lot of celebrities getting invited to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about, I smoked weed in the bathroom, or I was with this. Snoop said he got high in the White House. So did Willie Nelson when Jimmy Carter was president, smoked pot in the White House. Well, where should you never do cocaine? In the White House. Who's actually doing it in the White House?
So it was for those who did not know, it was reported a couple of days ago that at first it was a white substance that was found somewhere in the West Wing that is used by both guests and staff. Then it was the substance. Actually, they had hazmat units out there. They had the whole shebang. Later on, to find out it was cocaine. So one of the stories I read was, Hunter Biden, from what has been out there, he's got it passed. However, we don't know. We weren't there.
I would have never left it there.
But no, right. That's the crime. Right?
That's the crime.
So
Leaving it.
I know, Rick, based on our comments in our discussion group about what to do. So seriously, your thoughts on it? I mean, share your thoughts.
Look, here, this is too coincidental.
Okay.
You have a president that wants to run for president, a guy that wants to run for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
His son is really in the news right now. And what do other people want to do with that? They want to use it against this president, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to get rid of somebody, what would I do to mess up your campaign? I would sabotage it big time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a sabotage. This is to keep that whole deal about Hunter Biden and drugs going in that whole deal. I don't think he's that stupid with his dad running for president, who he loves, that he would put his dad in that situation. I doubt it.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Do you know how much cocaine costs?
Right.
Who's gonna? I mean, nobody's gonna leave that there.
Right. On
accident.
Right,
Or
not even
on
for a
purpose.
setup.
And the family wasn't even there. They were gone. They were off somewhere
right.
else,
Well, they
Camp
were on
David,
But with his
on
past,
vacation and that whole deal.
you have to
But he
think
hasn't
about
been
it.
in the
Right.
White House on a consistent basis like with Donald Trump's kids. Donald Trump's kids were what? They were there as advisors. They were there all the time.
But he hasn't been there that long. I think it was a staffer or maybe a
Right.
cook or a valet or a housekeeper.
But why now all of a sudden this is coming up, though? All of the clear blue sky.
I get it,
Here
man.
comes the cocaine out of nowhere.
I should send you the meme. It's a hazmat guy with a vacuum. It looks like it's spilled all over the carpet. All over the carpet.
But answer my question. Now all of a sudden, because President Biden is running for president, I'm not getting political or nothing. I don't know.
It's something.
But I'm just saying, now all of a sudden cocaine shows up at the White House, and now it's a big thing that's out there like this. Give me a break.
Could it have been a guest walking in, maybe a conservative or didn't like
No,
it,
I think it's
and
a
just
plan.
kind of threw it.
I think it's a plan. I think somebody
A
planted this
staffer,
stuff.
maybe it wasn't a political. It wasn't Trump or his kids. Maybe it was somebody that didn't like Biden or doesn't like something. They just kind of threw it underneath wherever they found
I
it.
don't know who did it,
Where they
but
found
this
it.
is a plant. You know what? 20-1, I bet you. How much you want to bet, man?
I don't bet it's not. I don't think it's a plant. It's possible, but it wasn't done by any other political family.
How do we know?
Well, we don't know anything for sure.
That's right.
If
And we
I
never
was,
will.
I'll tell you for sure, I would have never left it there. Fuck. My God. I'd have been running back. I'd be like, oh, shit. I got to get back in
Found
the
it.
You know.
If you found it, you wouldn't turn it in.
No, you
Hell
wouldn't.
no.
Right?
I've done that in nightclubs when I worked security. You know, you look
Where's
at them-
George at?
Yeah, right. That would
He's in the lost and found at the White House.
right. You just kind of you not only sit your foot, slide your foot over, and like
The
And
fact
you
that
just
you even
kinda-
know how to do what you're doing
you
right
just
now,
kind of
giving the
slightly
suggested words.
like you're tying your shoe, but you don't have laces, but you're tying them anyway.
Yeah, you're wearing your Crocs trying to tie your
right.
shoes. Yeah, okay.
Then you go in the bathroom real quick and then you're back out doing the
So
tour,
they said it was part of the. They said it was part of the West Wing,
which
okay.
is guest
Go ahead.
staffers.
Which
A lot
also,
of
by
people go
right,
there.
which by the way is a great name for a TV show if anybody should ever think
Yeah,
of
the
it.
West
Oh,
Wing.
yeah, okay.
However,
Martin Sheen would be great.
He
at
I
would.
think so. I think that
Right.
would be a good. But is it what part of the West Wing is it really where guests can come in and out and tour? Was it found in a closet? Did they
Right,
actually
they
talk
haven't
about
really
where they
said.
found the cocaine?
And again, as a whole, the White House, just, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, you wouldn't have seen this. 2 or 3 weeks ago, you had the trans party at the White House. They're flashing everybody at the White House. And then 2 weeks later, they find cocaine. It's not a good look. For regardless,
I would say
who's-
the cocaine
who's in
is
the
a
White
worse
House.
look than worrying about trans.
Well,
and
they were
celebrating.
taking their clothes off on the White House
I
lawn.
missed that article.
You can miss that.
But-
You
but-
could
I
you
missed
could have
it.
just gone there and been respectful and not thrown
But
that out there.
even with that, guys, just for me,
Just
honestly
the
and
bottom
truthfully,
line, that's all.
people got to realize and understand that cocaine is a medical medicine.
That's
It
why-
was used to extract teeth.
Mhm.
It numbed
It's
all
in
that type
cough
of
syrup,
stuff.
isn't it?
Huh?
Is it in cough
Cause
syrup?
it?
Very small.
It was in Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah.
They had put it in
Until the
Coca-Cola.
early 30s.
In the forest, in the rainforest,
Mhm.
and down in South America, they chew coca leaves and that whole deal, man, in order to pull teeth in that whole deal because they don't have needles and that whole deal down there. Look, cocaine is not a bad thing. It has the right intentions.
I used
But
it
it's
as Viagra back in the 80s.
But it's we as human beings, as people, when we put cut on it
Yeah.
and put that bad stuff in
Baby
it,
laxative.
fentanyl or anything of that nature, that's where you get in trouble with cocaine.
When my
Stop it.
Rick, I had friends who would call me up, dude. I'm on my way. We had to go to Aspen to get an 8-ball, and I'm sitting there at home on the toilet waiting. It's just the baby laxative. That's what they cut that shit.
That's
with
what you
back.
do.
Baby
You do
laxative.
your return calls.
Right.
But I mean, look, guys. To me, it's all political. It looks political. It
could be.
stinks to me. It
It
really stinks to me because all of a sudden this stuff shows up. All of this time, the last 3 years, we had none of that.
Well, when did it show? When did this actually? When was it found? A couple of days ago.
Just
it was
2
reported?
or 3
Okay.
days ago is from what I heard.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
They said.
gotcha.
Yeah. So why wouldn't that be a consistent thing if someone of the staffers and everybody else that's in there,
Mhm.
why wouldn't that be a consistent thing? Or were they hiding it and keeping it quiet?
Right. Unfortunately, we'll never know unless, depending upon where it was
I think
found, there
we'll-
just happens to be a video camera.
Over
Because
time.
you
That's
got to
right.
imagine the White House. I mean, there's probably zero blind spots.
Yep.
Because they have to have every inch of that facility covered to
right.
protect everybody. So I hope, in all honesty, I hope that there is going to be video coverage of somebody, of seeing the bag, somebody fall out of a pocket or somebody put it, whatever it is. I hope for everybody's sake that there is going to be some video evidence of how the bag
Can you
was
imagine
located.
Jill Biden finding it? Oh, Joe, has Hunter been here? Has he been in the house?
Well, not necessarily finding it, but how it was placed there, or falling out of
Placed
somebody's
or
pocket,
whatever dropped out of the
Because it was like,
pocket.
if it was found in like a broom closet, we're never going to have no how or what.
I would
you know?
like to think that maybe because in security we check every hole in
Sure.
your body and then still get it in at a concert.
Right.
Maybe it was a staffer or a housekeeper or a cook. That's what I'm hoping it was. That's all.
The stew had a very extra kick to it.
Yeah, that's all. I hope it's not any more
What's
than
that new seaseaning in
And
there?
I don't want it to be political either or a plant.
Why come I can't go to sleep tonight after eating?
Right,
Honey, get off the ceiling.
right. And I just hope it was that and not anything else. You know
So
what I'm
it's
saying?
it's
I do know they found it next to a bottle of ketchup.
Oh boy. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, huh?
oh my God.
He's crazy, huh?
worse than me.
Yep.
So it's interesting you mentioned that cocaine has true medicinal value.
It does. Every drug.
So I'm going to
does.
kind of
It's
go off
just
the
we
beaten.
abuse it.
I'm going to go off the beaten path here for a second on something I literally found out 2 days ago has another purpose than what it's designed for. So
Camel toe.
Oh boy.
I saw a few of those up there. The country girls.
John.
George, St. George. A lot of cowboy boots and camel toe.
John, what are you drinking back there, man?
no, he threw a shark at me, and I knew
Did he
exactly-
bite you? Did he bite you?
Oh, he bit me. Okay.
Why are you turning red, man? You
Oh,
look like
God.
a stop sign
No,
right
it wasn't
now.
about me. It was
Oh, okay.
It wasn't about me. It was about our dear friend Ricky Cash.
Oh, okay.
Stop sign.
We'll get back to that later. But anyway, so our back patio lately, like we've been getting, I don't know if there's mosquitoes in this town or not, but something's been
Yep.
biting Eileen. I mean,
Yep.
my legs, both my legs, ankle on. Anyway, so P.S., we buy the mosquito bomb spray and all that.
Right.
So 2 days ago, Eileen says to me, she says, I read online, if Irish Spring, the soap,
Soap, yeah.
Irish Spring,
Irish
right?
Spring.
She read that if you not slice it up, but grate it,
Shade it.
shave,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
shave it, and sprinkle that all around. That will actually deter mosquitoes. So I got to thinking, if Irish Spring, maybe it's from Ireland and it's got liquor in there, I don't know. If it's meant to deter insects, imagine what it's doing to people using it as soap.
Yeah,
That's
man.
all I want to say.
Yeah,
Think about
man.
it. So what did I do today after my workout? I had to run into Albertsons and she
Get some
messaged
soap.
me. She says, check to see if they have a single bar of Irish Spring.
Oh, God.
Now they didn't. The smallest package I had was 3 bars, so I bought it because I figure if one's going to be good, 3 would be 3 times
Right.
better, right? So just thought I'd throw that out there. The Irish Spring. If you got mosquitoes, folks,
Since we're on that subject,
at least your dead flies will smell good.
we're
Does it
talking
work on crickets?
Well,
Who
I'll
knows?
tell you,
Go
before
find out.
Just in a second, you're going to find that out.
Okay.
Yeah. St. George,
Things you learn on this show.
right. My sister-in-law has issues with roaches. Beautiful neighborhood, but somehow they come out at night. Use coffee grounds.
Yeah,
Out of
that
your
I've
coffee
heard.
pot.
Yes.
Just take them out, sprinkle them
Yeah.
around your house, and the roaches say, "Fuck that, we're out of here."
Yeah.
They don't
I've heard
like
that
coffee
about that.
grounds.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Mosquitoes
Mhm.
eat a lot of garlic. They
That's-
hate
I've
it.
read that,
They
too.
don't like garlic, man.
Yeah.
They come and they get on you, man. And they smell that garlic
Well,
coming out
that'll
of
keep
your skin.
everybody away.
That's what
You'll
I'm
be all
saying,
by
bro.
yourself.
Hey, you can keep everything and everybody
You
away.
go to the movies by yourself. You
No
have all the
doubt.
seats around you.
No
Really?
doubt, yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
But
I mean,
Nevada's not known for mosquitoes.
No, they're not, which is really weird.
You
So
know
I'm,
why?
I'm only
Or gnats.
guessing it is.
Here's why.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
too.
here's why. They're talking about all of this snow melt in that hotel. They're leaving pools everywhere, right?
And they get
And they get into
Mildew
those
or-
pools
yeah.
and it's starting to heat up now.
Right.
They're loving it.
okay.
They're
That makes
absolutely
sense.
loving it. In that
That's why they
hotel.
don't like swimming pools that are fine homeowners that have
Right.
pools that
that are
Yeah.
green. And,
Right.
Right, exactly. And
Right
so
for that.
now a lot of these mosquitoes, man, are incubating and they're doing their thing, man.
So, old calamine lotion, the pink stuff.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, we started getting a couple of bites. We go into the Albertsons, and they were all out of the pink stuff. So my wife finds the clear calamine lotion. Clear. That's like glue. What the hell's clear? I said, I need the pink stuff. pink,
That tells you if
because
it's sold out.
not only that, but I feel better if I see it, then I know it's in the right place. So today I went to Albertsons and I bought a bottle of the pink calamine lotion because it made me feel better, and witch hazel. Do you remember witch hazel growing up as a kid?
Use it all the time.
Oh my God. So I bought 2 bottles of that. I got out of the shower at home after cleaning up from the workout and I started, doing the witch hazel. Boy, it took me back to my grandparents' bungalow in upstate New York because it's all we used up there. But man, oh man, something's going on because my legs are like golf balls.
Well, let me tell you what my grandma.
I just got one behind my knee before too. I don't know what that
And I'm no country boy. I was raised way out in the country, man, where when you went out at night, you saw eyes looking at you, possums and raccoons and stuff like that, right? So when we would go outside, my grandfather, man, he'd get this big old blanket, he'd throw some kerosene on it, and he would light it up. And when it would go out, smoke is everywhere. I think we got black lung from it. He said this will keep the mosquitoes away. I said, yeah, it's going to kill us too, Grandpa.
Did you lit it up and then what? Did you leave it on a stump or something?
Yeah, just leave it on the stump or whatever on the
Let it
ground
burn
and let it burn. And boy, that bad boy kick off some smoke, man. I was like, my goodness, Grandpa. I mean,
Okay, well, a couple of us are probably old enough to remember when they used to spray aerial spray in
Yeah.
different neighborhoods.
yes.
And all us kids are out there running around. Woo,
Yeah.
Well, that does explain a lot, doesn't it, folks?
I think now
Well, that's
I
why we don't
understand.
have bees now.
That's right.
Now I understand.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, right?
Introduce yourself to John.
Right.
How many
John.
cents, John? 2.
All right, let's move on before we get into our last break of the show. So, you guys want to go serious? Or you want to go a little lighter?
I was a little lighter.
A little lighter? All right, let's do a little lighter.
Absolutely.
FAA has certified the first flying automobile for research. We all laughed at the Jetson cars back in the day, and now we are finding out that the FAA says, okay, you have our blessings to start testing.
Isn't that something?
It's a fly. First, we all laughed at Tesla. Where the car will drive
Right.
itself, basically.
Right.
Okay. Now we're talking about flying cars, and you asked, or I think you asked the question. One of you asked the question: would you actually get into a flying car?
I would definitely.
Speaking
do
about a place never to do cocaine, by the way.
it.
If
A
it's
flying
faster,
car.
yeah, that would be all horrible.
Wait. Okay, but you're talking about a piloted flying car.
Of course.
You're not talking-
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not autonomous yet.
Yeah,
That's not going
right.
to happen.
Oh no,
for a
but you yourself can go in and pilot
Yeah,
the car.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And it's backed up by hydrogen.
Okay.
Okay, it's backed up by hydrogen. What it does, it'll get up
Lift you
here and then lift you up, and you can go right along. You can only go so fast. It has a
Right.
governor on it, and that'll deal mileage on
How
it.
far up can you go?
You can
Did it
go
say?
up. They said you can go up about
You can't go too high, otherwise you'd lose.
about 20, 25 feet.
Oh, okay.
You can go up 20, 25 feet. You can get up over everybody, and
Right.
but the mileage on this thing is about 400 miles.
400
How about
miles,
that?
400 miles to the Hindenburg.
The only thing that
Yeah.
bothers me, you said 25 feet high. There's all you got to clear power lines and stuff
Yeah,
like
but if
that.
you're flying over the roads, though,
Right, but what happens when, okay, 1 or 2 you see flying,
Yeah,
and all
that's-
of a sudden 10,000, 20,000, we're going to have some kind of,
highway patrol.
Yeah,
by
like
the way,
Freeway system.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Highway
Jesus, that's,
patrol.
I was going to think I would wait. Maybe if they had a testing at the test track at
Right.
Speedway or something, and they had it.
and they might.
You
Who
can
knows?
go out to go check it out.
Dude,
Maybe.
Airplanes, private pilots, all of that. There are certain lanes that you can fly in.
Right.
There are traffic patterns that
Right.
you have to stay within, and if you get outside of, you can get your shit.
Have you ever
Trouble.
seen the map of the United States live
Oh,
with
yeah.
all the planes in the area? You're
Right.
like, oh my God, look at over
Well,
New York, the Northeast. You're like, holy shit. They haven't-
I used to
they
fly,
haven't-
so you can. I
Yeah.
mean, there's air, and around here, I mean, they're like this wide. Everything else is all Nellis Air Force Base and
Right.
restricted airspace
Right.
and all that
Right.
shit.
But what I'd want to know about the flying car, because like, where would you park this thing? I want to make sure
Well,
you
it
push
comes
that.
down. I mean,
I want to make sure it's got that push button that it folds up into a briefcase.
Right. George.
Hey, you
And
know
you
what?
don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about fees going up to park at on the strip. None of that. Just push the button. Boop,
It would be
boop, boop, boop.
Aaron Jetson.
Right.
Well, that might be extra that might be extra cost because they supposedly they cost about 300,000. I was thinking a
It's
million.
almost as much as as a submersible.
Yeah.
I would just,
Oh, God.
I'm not going there. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Me
I'm
neither.
not-
They
I'm not-
can't. They canceled everything.
yeah,
They just now canceled all that, by the way.
Finally.
But
yes.
I think this is going to be great. for me, I think it's interesting. I think it's great. I think it's innovative.
And
I really do.
Damn time.
And I feel that if you can afford it and you can pay for it,
Why not?
you know the FAA, they're going to make sure they sit down and get all of the flight patterns and how you can drive it.
Yep.
And the license, is it going to be a normal driver's license?
No, I'm
or
sure
is it going to
you're-
be a pilot
You're
license?
going
Might
to
have
have
to
to
be-
take
might
some
have to
kind
be
of
part of that,
classes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's going to be
sure.
rules of the road.
Of the sky.
Really?
Rules of the sky up there, like when you turn. I mean, there's got to be some control, but I would think the majority of your license would have to be around flying.
Well, the way these little
Of
homies
course.
out here is driving
Yeah.
these Hellcats and stuff, I don't know.
Well, see, that's going to be the
Doesn't matter.
problem.
It's true.
How do you have to get qualified to fly it first. And
Right.
what's the age going to be? Is it going to be 16, just like a driver's license? Or
That I would make sure it's
18 or
nothing less than
21?
20.
That's right.
21. Yeah.
21
At
would
least.
make sense.
Yeah, you can't. And there's a lot of this ahead of us before we even get in the air with that thing.
My next comment's going to make George happy. Imagine if Henry Ruggs had this instead. Anyway, with that, we're going to step aside for our break. Is he looking this way, folks? We're going to step aside for our last break. When we come back, we got one more topic, which we might maybe fold into America Speaks, depending upon if George has it ready for a topic. You're watching TRT.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, everybody. I am Aaron Phillips. You are.
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronzauer.vegas and book me for your next event or training needs.
Electric vehicle.
All right, we're doing research on the fully electric vehicle. Rick has the article up. You share some stats there?
Absolutely.
Go
Well,
ahead.
there's many stats. The stats is that the road range for it, the miles that it can cover is about 200 miles. And in a range of anywhere from 110 to 100 to 200 miles.
All right.
That's how far it can go. Once again, the company says it costs around $300,000 in order for you to get one of these
So
luxury
you could barely get
flying
to Mesquite.
cars.
You barely get to Mesquite on it.
That's right. Will they have rechargeable fuel tanks like the Tesla? All right, with that, before we get into America Speaks, is one, all right, we'll do it. The student loan situation.
Yeah, let's discuss it.
Let's talk about the student loan situation. Everybody knows the Supreme Court
Oh, boy.
voted down the original repayment plan that Biden had put out there. He's come up with another plan, which I don't have the details in front of me on. So what is everybody's thoughts on what's going on with the student loan? No payment, repayment, prepayment, screw your payment kind of thing that's going on. George, we'll start with you.
Well, like we were discussing before the show, I know it's tough to get into college, especially if you come from a family that doesn't have any finances to do that to help your child. So most kids do their best. Smart kids want to get the scholarship to help shave off some of the cost. First of all, I think it's criminal greed that it costs universities, it costs you 50, 60, 70,000 to go to an Ivy League school per year. Now, and then again, if you're lucky enough to get into school and maybe you have parents that are wealthy that'll help you, or there's some students out there that have to pay for it all by themselves. I think first of all, it builds character. You're on your own. You got to build. Back when I went to school, it wasn't for $50,000-$60,000 to go to school. But I'm glad I paid for most of my education. I had help. My mom and dad helped me out. If you do it their way,
Right.
they would help you.
Right.
So I did do it their way. I did pay for it. I made my own car payment, but they helped me pay for the books. But I had to pay for the tuition for the school. They made me do that, but they helped me with the extras.
Right.
Now, there's nothing wrong with going to school and paying your own way. That bill, I think it's a great way. Not everybody can do that. But then again, I don't think kids should be saddled with $200,000 college bill, and it takes the rest of their career to pay it off.
Right.
Plus, it's not even the actual tuition. It's the, like Rick mentioned earlier, it's the interest.
Right.
That bothers me, that the greed is there, where the college tuition's paid within the first 5 or 10 years of the loan. And then after that, you're paying all interest.
Right.
That's horrible.
Right.
Well, for me, I think the travesty of all this is this: you can't even file bankruptcy if you get in trouble, man, with your student loans. You can't even. Donald Trump did bankruptcy how many times?
Right.
I think it was about 5, 6 times,
Right.
something of that nature, because of bad loans, right? So if a kid gets a bad loan because what he wants to do is get an education that's going to be productive in our society, right? Why in the world are you going to close the door on this kid to be able to file bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy courts are going to be able to say yay or nay?
Now, again, bankruptcy is real complicated. They got Chapter 13, Chapter 7.
11?
13, 11, and 7 are the most prominent
Business
ones.
bankruptcies are different than school loan banks, or different than homeowners bankruptcy. It's all different. And I don't know how they, determine all that. But when you get a school loan for, $50,000 a year, that's horrible for an 18-year-old kid, 19.
Yeah. Well, to go into college when you're in your early 20s, not everybody finds their first job out of school
making $200,000 a year.
Making $200,000 a year.
Right.
Not even those like you're talking about your
my daughter.
Your daughter who's a veterinarian.
Yeah.
You're still coming out of college, but you got internships. It's still your years away. Another couple of years.
That's
right. Before you even start banking a dollar or two at all.
Yes.
So I think, listen, it's great that the money's available for people to potentially go to college and help them get the higher education.
Sure.
Okay. However, there's the arguments, let's say, and on another show that I did, we were having this debate as well. Everybody who paid off their loans previously to this potential, forgiveness program, there was always going to be the argument, well, I paid off my loan. Why should this person be any different than me? So you're always going to have a disagreement one way or the other. Well, why should they be, given the opportunity to forget it when I had to pay mine? And we're not talking about those who paid a tuition to like a trade school, where that trade school that all of a sudden closed down, you didn't get your education.
Right.
Yeah, that you should be refunded, and on you go to another step.
Yes.
So there's always going to be a debate 6 ways come Sunday. Fortunately, my kids were very blessed to have gotten scholarships and full rides. We helped my one daughter the last couple of years where things were a little tight for her since she was not living on campus anymore. So getting her housing for free. So now she's been off campus for 3 years with rent and the car, the whole thing. So yeah, my wife and I helped her, but now thank goodness her student loan, she's actually paid off with the help of a family member.
Sure.
But again, that goes back to what you were saying. Every family member, when they can, or every student hopefully gets some help where they can from a family member to help ease the burden as much as the family member can.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult discussion for me when we were discussing it on this other show, because I would have loved to have my daughter's loans be taken care of, to take the pressure off of her. Okay. But now I have the ability to look at it very cleanly because my daughter got rid of the loans. She was very concerned about what was going to come from July 1st, but fortunately things were able to be taken care of literally just prior to that. To me, we're taxed to death. That goes to the federal government. We're IRS shit all goes on. And I know we're talking, I don't know how many millions of dollars in student loan debt.
Trillions.
They were trillions.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Compromise. Does every dollar have to be wiped off? Maybe not.
No.
But a reasonable amount to support and help. And I'm not talking about taking the money that they're not having to pay and put on the back end of a loan. Legitimately, 50%. I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm not saying that's what it should be.
I got you. Yeah.
But if you have, $100,000 in student loans, regardless of your profession, and I'm surprised Harvard's only $80,000 a year. I think it's much higher than that because I think when I went to Penn State, it was $40,000 or $45,000 per year back then. Yeah. Okay, and it was the same as Rutgers. Rutgers was my safety school, and the dollar for dollar was exactly the same.
Yeah.
So am I going to go to Penn State, get a name up here, or Rutgers? Not a knock on Rutgers.
No, they have a
but
name,
notoriety
but not Penn
now.
State. Right.
So if it's 50%, whatever it is, anything will help this graduated student from college. Now, like your daughter who became a vet. Now you're adding medical school bills on top of the college. See, that's a whole nother topic of conversation. Where do you draw the line for financial support for student education? We'll just call it that.
Right.
So it's a hot debate. I just hope that something is done for the students that are out there, because we're seeing now these young adults have the big dreams of wanting to go to higher education, but when they get the bill and they see the bill, they're going to have to sacrifice, like a lot of students go to a 2-year college before they transfer into a 4-year college, simply because it's cheaper the first 2 years.
Right.
But I hate to see a high school student who is excelling without sports, because a lot of the schools, if you're an excellent athlete, you get the full rides and stuff. But if you have a smart, I don't want to say smart, any student who wants to go off to college, I'd hate to see any student get derailed because they couldn't afford to go to a university that would help them onto the path of what they want to do.
Right.
That's the sad part, because they're the future. I mean, I hate to sound like a commercial and a telethon.
No,
they are our future. Our children are our future.
They are our future.
But let's look at what's happening in our own state right now. We know where Nevada sits in the country as far as per capita spending. We're next to last,
which is amazing.
But you know what though? We have a 12 or 1,500 teacher shortage. We have substitute shortage of 700-800. They're not getting the education consistently. But that being said, one of the reasons that I loathe the casinos from the standpoint of not agreeing to do the scratch offs, $1. And all that was supposed to go to student loans or student education here in the state. Those individuals who they're denying that potential earnings money to go towards their education, they're going to be the ones that are going to be working in the casinos. Why draws are going to end up short because people don't know how to balance their cash in and cash out.
Gotcha.
And I'm not talking about the people that do housekeeping and things like that. I'm talking about where these kids are going to go into these positions of responsibility that's going to deal with numbers, with cash, with engine, whatever it is. They're going to be working there in the casinos, and they're going to wonder why the casinos have a problem, because the casinos are not supporting for their fair share. I'll put that word in quotes. And then the marijuana stuff we've talked about many, many years. This state could have been, but I digress about our state. But that's an example of where if students are not getting the help with their education, they're going to fall short of their dreams and in the communities that they want to help. Did you have something, John?
Go ahead, John.
I saw you out of the corner of my eye.
I have a lot.
Well, you got 9 minutes, and we still need to get to America Speaks.
Bring it, big dog.
Bring it, dog.
So here's the deal.
Woof, woof.
We are ensuring that our nation is going to be the stupidest one on the planet because we are not educating our young people. We are doing everything we can to keep them from getting an education. How many people out there are going to be, or could be, or have the potential to be brilliant doctors or scientists or any of this, but they can't afford to go to college. They can't afford to get an education. So what do?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it. Once again, I understand that some kids have to get the loans and the parents don't have the money and those type of things for sure. And just like with any of us, I mean, if we go out and get a loan from the bank, right, we're going to get interest on this money and that whole deal that we have to pay back. We're not going to pay back the $110,000.
Right.
We're probably going to pay back $200,000, right?
Right.
That's my problem.
Right. No,
because you're compounding it, not just an interest,
right,
but they compound it, guys. And how do you ever
catch up,
get out from under it, or catch up? They need they need to outlaw that. They need to have hearings on that one.
That's not a bad idea. Real quickly, I just want to say this. I work in an elementary school. I saw fifth graders this year and every year that I've been in this school get promoted to sixth grade that can't read, that can't do math.
It's crazy.
Take that for what it's worth. All right, with that, we have about 7, 8, 9 minutes. It is now time for America Speaks.
Was I in your class?
I know. Were you?
And America Speaks done died, man.
All right,
where is he? Where is America?
Here we go.
Oh, you got it? America Speaks.
America
let's hit
does
it.
speak. America speaks. You, America, you're the ones who give us the comments on the subjects that I pick. It's not Rick, Aaron, or myself. We might comment on a comment. But just in the last couple of days, I don't know if you guys know the NBA draft. The Summer League is here in Vegas. In fact, at the Sphere had the big giant basketball. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I actually work in the Summer League this coming weekend over
Cool,
there.
man.
And it's a lot of fun. But I guess there's a new kid on the block. His last name is Wembanyama. Have you ever heard of him?
7'4". He was the number one pick.
Yeah, he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He was celebrating here in Vegas, and he was hanging out at a restaurant at Aria, at the casino in Aria.
Right.
I guess Britney Spears is in town.
Oh, Brittany.
She's looking like she's been put through the ringer, but I'd still invite her over for her evening. But she was in town, and I guess she ate at the same restaurant.
Okay.
Now, the reason I picked this topic is I'm in security,
Right.
and we do we provide security for athletes and politicians and famous celebrities and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been around this kind of thing.
Mhm.
And apparently, Britney Spears was in the nightclub. I guess they saw each other in the restaurant earlier in the day. Then they went to the same nightclub. Coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently she wanted to walk up to him. She originally congratulated him on his success getting drafted first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on they saw her at the nightclub. So she walks up behind him from behind. And she supposedly taps him on the shoulder. And he turns around and the head of security is like, and he backhands Brittany because her hand was out. And, in the heat of the moment, they didn't know who she was. But first of all, even if you didn't know who she was, it's a female. You just kind of, backhand her and slap her. And I guess he backhanded her, hit her hand, and her hand came back and hit herself in the face.
Okay.
So now there's this big uproar about it. And what's his name? Wembanyama, whatever his name, he said he did not know it was Britney Spears until a few hours later. And that's possible. He's surrounded by people, but here are some of the
And
comments.
it's dark in the nightclub.
Right, it is, and you have some hot blonde that comes up from
7'4".
right. So I don't know how she tapped him on the shoulder. She
That's what I was.
She could have tapped him on the butt.
Oh, the butt, yeah.
I think that's more.
I think
what
the
she,
cheeks, man.
and I think that's the purpose for her visit. But here's the guy, FU 484. That sounds familiar.
That's very good.
I suppose the star shouldn't have come up behind someone and put her hands on him, assuming everyone knew who she was. Silly dust up.
Okay.
Red Pill 513, we just said it. Ain't no way she tapped his shoulder if he was standing or walking. Dude is 2 feet taller than Brittany and stands at least 7'6".
Right.
But realistically, though, she could have reached up and tapped him in the middle of his back. Everybody's saying shoulder.
Right.
But it could have been the shoulder blade. It's not like she had to reach up here. I mean,
Right. But, those guys are surrounded by people, and I've been there, and you get shoved and pushed, and you're trying to answer questions. And Phantom 54, my chili cheese dog from Sonic is awesome. Jalapeno cheddar peppers. So apparently he doesn't care about it at all. So
Give me a hamburger. I'll pay you Monday.
and here's one, Milton Keynes, and here's something we might comment on comment. No wonder her sons want nothing to do with her. She's old enough to be his mother. Okay, let's stop for a second. We don't assume. We don't know anything about Brittany. We know she's had a troubled recent 5, 6, 7 years of her life.
Mm-hmm.
She probably hasn't been the best parent because she's been all messed up. And she's as attractive as she still is. She shouldn't be taking her clothes off on TikTok or Instagram. So her sons. So what do you think of the comment here about her? Do you think she was going after him, or she was just there to congratulate, or she had some, wanted to get a little a little more friendly?
I would think if she wanted to get a little more friendly, if she saw him in that restaurant where the scene was a little more calmer, I would think that she would have done her business there if that was the intent.
And a restaurant would have been a little
less chaotic.
Yeah, in a nightclub, you've got security around and people bumping into trying
I
to
don't
get
know.
a piece of the
I don't think it
star.
was. I don't think it was anything more than her just trying to catch up.
All
to
the celebrities, man, get attention. They bring attention to whatever they're doing.
Yeah, to themselves.
Bottom line.
Right.
If someone is getting ready to come out with a new album like Snoop Dogg or something, what does he do? He go on TV, man, and have a blunt and he's smoking it. Everybody said, did you watch Snoop, man, smoke that blunt? He brings the attention to him.
He does.
Do you not
Sure
think
do.
that this might be the same thing where Brittany says, hey, man, I want to get this attention on me again, that I'm out here in that ordeal so people know who I am, right?
I agree.
So I think, man, it was an attention getter in that ordeal. It just so happened it went bad. She went and touched him, tapped him on the back, and he reacted to it and slapped her.
Well, apparently it's
the
turning
security
into a
guard, not him.
right.
Oh, the security
head
guy.
of
Well,
security.
yeah,
The head
yeah.
of his security. They even named his name and all.
Yeah,
that
I don't think
But
it.
did he actually did she make contact with his back, but his slap stopped her hand from?
No, I think
tapping
she
him?
actually touched him, and as she was coming back,
Gotcha.
he
Okay.
whacked her hand away, which was probably the purpose, not to smack her.
I don't know, Brittany. My back's available for you anytime.
Eileen,
Not me.
you're not watching
I turn
Eileen.
around.
Eileen not watching, is she?
No, she don't
I
watch
don't
it.
know. I think
All
she
right.
might be used up, man.
Well,
myself.
right, they're saying, I think so. But they're saying
That's all right. I drive a used car.
You probably get more mileage. You
Right.
probably get better mileage.
Big Boy 638. Guarantee that was a security camera in Vegas that caught this.
Why do we lose control?
With a police report, they will have to investigate. So hopefully something happens.
Did they find? On the security guard?
Yeah, they're
So
gonna-
Brittany
yeah.
did want to press charges against the security guard.
Here's Brandon 14. She was probably trying to get backhanded on the tail. Dude hasn't played a game and he needs security. He must be from France. So, but that's it, America. That's your
America speaking on it.
Thank
America
God, 'cause we're
Speaks
running out
on
of
Britney.
time.
Britney Spears.
Thank God.
She's trying to get more
And was
more
that?
fame.
And that was here in town, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
here's the funny thing: his team,
Off the
he
Aria.
is actually, but he is not playing in town. He is where he is part of is up in Utah. So he made a stop here on his way up to Utah, where his team is playing as part of the summer league.
Right. Well, the summer league's at Thomas and Mack.
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
'Cause I'll
But
be
not
there.
every team is playing here. Is
Right.
what I'm saying. His team
Is
is
in
playing
Utah.
up in Utah. So
Where
he
at?
was.
Do we know where?
I-
He shouldn't have been here anyway.
Well, but
He was
here's the funny
19,
thing:
Came to Vegas.
19. How would he have gotten into the nightclub? Don't you have to be 21
You
to get into
do.
a nightclub?
If my security team was there, he would not have gotten in. But who
But
knows?
he's
Yeah,
not.
right.
But
Who's
yes,
this guy?
there is the summer league games here, which have been here for many years. But his team, who drafted him? I don't remember. Who was
San
it?
Antonio.
Oh,
Yeah.
San Antonio. So they're playing up in Utah, from what I heard. From what I read today. All right.
Well, I
with
mean,
that-
I
You
work.
guys
The
are
summer
killing
league is
me,
huge.
man.
Summer league is huge. They give a
oh, it
trophy
is.
away.
Yeah,
I have
no.
a picture
It's,
of it.
it's like an
About
but
5
you
or
know-
6 now.
but it's almost like an AAU kind of
It's
league.
yeah, of
You know.
course it is.
Say good night, boys.
Boys, good
Oh.
night. Anyway, all right, quick programming note. Next week's show, George will be here in studio. Mr. Rick will be on video from where? Where are you going to be next week?
Oh, I'm going to be in Craig, Colorado.
Craig,
we have a
Colorado.
we have a cancer drive that we
that's
do
right.
up there. Golf. We have casino night. We raise money for that
Should've
part of the
brought-
country.
I brought-
Yeah, come on.
I should
Does
have
that
brought a
mean I
signed
get
book
to
for
sit
you,
in Rick's
so I didn't
seat?
think about it.
Absolutely. I got the one at the house.
Yeah, but it's got your name in it.
I know, but
So don't give that away unless it's
but what I want to
to
do is say, hey, this is signed by for Rick, but I'm going to make
Well,
sure
that's
we
up
make
to you.
it.
That's up to you.
I would not
hey,
do that.
Which seat do I sit in next week?
You'll
Do
be
I
in the
sit
middle.
Rick,
Anyone you want.
You'll be
Rick's
in the middle.
seats or Aaron? Rick.
Anyone you want.
I get
My
to sit
seat
in
is
Rick's
off limits.
seat?
You'll be in Rick's seat.
It's your
Oh,
choice.
that's
Don't do
why.
any misjustice to it,
Oh my God.
to your seat.
I'm
Anyway,
using your seat.
so I will be
No.
out of town on vacation because after tonight's show, boy, do I need a rest from this
Lake
trip.
Havasu.
That's right. Don't look me up at all because I'm not going to be me. I'm going to be under an assumed name.
I
That's
think you
right.
might come back looking like me, bro. I really
That's right. I'm
believe
not
that.
using any suntan
La no
protection.
Sunday.
It's very similar
Although I'm
already.
getting there.
Hey, there
I'm
you
getting
go,
there.
big dog.
July
That's the
4th
only
weekend.
difference.
I'm sneaking up on it. All right. We're going to have a great show next week with George, and John will be on voice. He'll be able to help out as well. And Rick, I will be sunning. So I will see you. I will not be on the air tomorrow with my other shows. I'll be back in studio on the 15th
that's
with
right.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. And Aaron's Hour. I already got my show lined up.
Did
for
your
the
writers
15th.
go on strike?
What's that?
Did your writers go on strike or just reruns?
This week will be a rerun. We'll say the writers went on strike for this week. All right. Final thoughts, Mr. Voice.
Voice.
I mean,
you
Mr.
mean
Mouth?
For
Same
a
thing.
second, I started
Voice,
shaking
mouth,
a little
same
bit. I was
thing.
like, what?
Don't walk in my shoes.
Should I
Try not
I
to.
can't.
I
I,
know.
can't. They're too big for me. Should I behave myself next week or not, guys? Keep your head above water. Everybody, we're getting better here. Just keep going, keep plugging away, keep getting up in the morning. Just keep doing your thing and make yourself a better life.
There you go. Mr. Rick.
Hey, make sure you drink a lot of water. It's going to be
right.
extremely, extremely hot. It's going to get worse, folks. So make sure that your dogs, your cats, don't lock your kids or your dogs or your cats or anybody in your cars. It's very, very dangerous. Be very, very attentive to that type of stuff.
And to think all those temperatures is actually going to be about 5 to 10 degrees hotter in Lake Havasu. All right. That's okay. As long as the lake stays wet and the air conditioners stay on, I don't
Oh,
care.
and on with what Rick said. If you see a dog or a kid in the car,
Break the window.
break that window.
John,
Break
did you want to say something before I sign off?
Yes. Remember, stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, and stay inside till November 1st.
it. I thought I was going to say stay hydrated.
What's November 1st? That's when temperature's supposed
Yeah,
to
That's
start?
like
Yes.
hibernation. That's a bear.
Yeah.
That's a bear thing.
Stay
Man.
inside
All
till
right,
November.
these guys with the heat coming into town, wherever you are across the country, heat, humidity, the whole thing, please
is.
be safe. Keep an eye on a neighbor that maybe is a little bit elderly, that maybe, they may need some water, whatever. Keep an eye on those around you. With that, as always, be kind to everybody. Why? We are all we have. We'll see you next time. Right.
Oh, no.